Hey guys, it's Justin Goodbread here with Financially Simple. So I'm in between meetings. I'm actually sitting in the car. I wanted to share something that I'm got to tell you, I have laughed today. This has been really good for me. So I have a client, and I can't give you too much detail, but this individual's in their 70s, and we're in a meeting, and he says, "Justin, I got something I got to tell you." I'm like, "What is it?" He goes, "I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I just found out I have a 51-year-old son." And I'm like, "Well, I thought you had a 51-year-old son." "No, I found out I had a 51-year-old son that I didn't know anything about." I'm like, "Oh, well, no, that's never happened to me." I gotta tell you, that's never happened. So, long story short, everything is cool, everything's kosher. It's just God's providence. It's all worked out. We have laughed. It's funny. It's funny. So there's no sad story here. I wish I could get into all the details. But what I want to share with you is this. What would you do if you found out you have a child that you didn't know anything about? Now, let's say you're out having a good time, and lo and behold, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years later, there's a child. What do you do? That was the question. I've never had that one happen before, especially from this individual. So we have laughed. First thing we're going to do is make sure your last will and testament is accurate. So a lot of times, whenever people are having babies and they're going through that child rearing process, couples will say, "I want my estate to go to my any child that is born to me." So they may say they have one baby, they may name that, and any preceding children. Well, if that's in the document, then if this individual wanted the money to go to this now estranged, now reunited child, then that document okay. But what happens if they don't? What happens if he says, I like the guy. I'm glad he's my son. I'm glad he's had a successful life, but I don't want to give, the percentage of my estate to this individual. So what you have to do is you want to make sure first your last will and testament is accurate. I'm going to flip it around and say, what happens about the other client I had this week who says, "Man, we're ready to start a family"? Well, we need to make sure your last will and testament includes your beneficiaries, right? Just clean it up, make it a lot easier for the executors. That's the first thing. The second thing that we want to check on here is make sure that the IRA, the beneficiary status on the IRA is accurate. Many times people will say, "Well, I don't need a last will and testament because all I have is an IRA. That's it." And the IRA has beneficiary status on it. I've seen that. And I've seen also where people will list the estate of so-and-so. Well, if you have an estranged child out there, or maybe you never knew this individual and they know who you are because of DNA testing, which is what happened here, then all of a sudden that child could end up being part of the estate, even if you wanted to exclude them out by just having the estate of on your beneficiary status of your IRA. So the question was, "Justin, what do you want to do?" Well, I'm not going to get into the specific advice that we gave him, nor his decision on what he wanted to do. But the things you want to check for in this type of environment, whenever you find out you have a child at age 70 that you never knew about, or you find out you're going to have babies, or you're going to adopt I have a dear, sweet family, a friend of mine, they're adopting a child. Same exact scenario applies. Whenever any of these things transact, you want to get with a good estate planning attorney and make sure that your documents are accurate. You want to meet with your CFP, which is what this client does. This has been one of our long-term clients. Love this family to death. He said, "Man, this is what happened. What do we do?" And we talked through it. We were able to make the adjustments we need to make. So I got to answer the question he asked me. "Justin, has this ever happened to you?" No, it hasn't. Nor will it. No, it hasn't. I've never had somebody come and say, "You're daddy?" And I didn't know about him. So guys, just had to share. I've laughed this morning, ever since that. It has been a stressful week here in this world of financial planning this week. But 70 years old and find out you have a 51-year-old son that you didn't know about. That is pretty funny. Especially in the light. I know it can be tragic sometimes. I'm not trying to make tragic of disarranged families. But in this specific circumstance with the story, we have laughed and laughed and laughed. And I now have something to have fun with this client on even more. So, guys, like I said every week, life is hard. Life is complicated. Life can be frustrating. Money doesn't have to be. Let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. Y'all go out and make it a great weekend. Take care.